Hi, this is Sarah Lan. I'm going to go over my blended project. I'm going to kind of do it a little bit quickly. All of my documents have been uploaded, but right now what we're looking at is the first day of my blended project that I'll be doing with my class. This is their first warm-up. This is what they'll do. The second, I go into the objectives. Then we'll talk about the warm-up. I'll collect it, and then they're going to start working on gender equality background part 1. That should take a good portion of the class, and then we'll review for the day. Also with day 1, I will post on Google Classroom their assignment, so I'll go with them after they've done the warm-up. I'll go over their assignment. It'll post. I'll have it set so that it's automatically post. I'll go over the Symbaloo with them. This is the document that they have that will have the questions and definitions that they need to do, and these will be the links that they need. So will be day 1. Let me save it as a draft so I don't post it just yet. This is a Symbaloo that I have for the gender equality for my social issues class. At the top left hand corner is just some general links for them that they can use for the county, for the class in general. Over here on the right are some resources that they can use that are on gender equality, both internationally, locally, that they can go to when they go to do their PSA later. But here are the links that they have for their first day and second day that they will use over the course of this lesson. This is the assignment that they will have the first day. So they'll use their textbooks for a few things. A lot of these words are in their textbook. It's simple just defining them. There are 3 that are not in their textbook and that they will need to look up, just Title IX, 19th Amendment, and the word bias. So there's the first 5 questions that will actually be in the textbook that they can use. And then here is a link to a document which is on Google Classroom. They'll answer a question from there. And so each of the links, then they'll have a few questions. There's a video I want them to watch, and then they'll answer a question from that. And this will be the first day. And once they're finished with that, we'll review. If there's any students that need more time, they can finish it for homework. It's not a problem, but I do want to review just so we can go over the idea of gender equality and what they found so far. So this is day 2, their warm-up. Do you see gender biases on your social media? Again, we'll go into the objectives. And then today we'll talk about the warm-up again. They'll do the second part of the background for gender equality. We'll review that. And then they have for homework to create at least 2 questions for the class on a gender survey that we need to do. As with day 1, I also will post again the assignment here with the links that they'll need for their assignment on day 2 on Google Classroom. There's a Symbaloo as well, and then the other links that they need for the questions. What I will also post on this day is the homework assignment that they'll have to create at least 2 questions for a survey that you can ask your peers about their views on gender equality in school and their community. And that's the survey that we'll do on day 3. I won't go back into the Symbaloo account because we've seen that before, but this is the assignment for the second day in the background, just looking at women in the military and gender biases there, and then as well as the workplace. And there's a lot more that students can do as far as getting background information for gender equality, so this is really just a snippet. And it's not as long as what they had to do the first day because we're going to start looking at the survey on this day and going into that information as well. So this is day 3. This is their warm-up. In your opinion, in what ways can men benefit from gender equality? This is just kind of a reflection of what they saw or what they'll find in day 2 of their lesson in looking at how men will benefit as well from gender equality. Again, the objectives and then the agenda. So we'll talk about the warm-up. We'll create a class survey. That's going to be a little tricky because I'm going to be asking the whole class to be paying attention and being engaged in us creating a survey. So right now I just kind of have us doing it, maybe having a student sit at my desk with my computer and create the survey as we talk about it. What I think I'll do is, because everybody's going to be coming in with at least 2 questions, is break them off into groups and, let them eliminate some of the questions, and then that way we can narrow it down to 10 questions and not try to have, 25 kids talking at the same time. Once we create the survey, I'm going to take the survey link and I'm going to distribute it to my colleagues in the department to make it easier. The last time we did a survey in class, we had a little bit of a problem with kids getting all 25 people that I needed them to get. plus, being able to get it out. We tried QR codes. They were a little difficult. And then some of them just put it out on their social media. So what I'm just going to do is just make it quick and easy and have it go to my colleagues in the department and have them ask their students to take the survey. And that way I can get a quick turnaround and have it ready for the next class. Once we create the survey, I don't think it should take too long. Then we'll get into our groups and we'll go over teamwork makes the dream work, just something that I come up with for their groups. I will actually choose their groups for them. So they'll be assigned a team. In their groups, there should be a manager, a scribe, a timekeeper, a research, and an artist. Now, at all times, there's always a manager and the scribe, but as far as the researcher is concerned, everyone's doing the research. The artist, because of what they're doing, everybody is going to be an artist because they should have input into what they put into their video for the PSA. But that's what we're going to start discussing, the PSA, and then going into PSA formats, because I'm going to need the format and give it to our TV production teacher, who can then be able to post it on our morning announcements that we have on TV. So as with the previous days, I will post the assignment that we're doing in class and what we're going to be doing in class on Google Classroom. They may not actually access this because it's just going to be kind of more of a heads up than it is going to be something that they have to physically do. So it will just be kind of posted on Google Classroom kind of almost as a marker as to what we did for day 3. So we're looking at day 4. We're going to review and check the survey results. Like I said, I should get a quick turnaround having my colleagues do it, and we can pull it up on the screen and just look at the results and talk about them. So the students will take notes as I talk about the survey results, and we can discuss what topics may have come about. My fear is that there won't be any topics that come out. I'm not sure exactly how this is going to go because we've never done it before. But if worse comes to worse, if there's no specific topic or no specific bias or inequality that people see, that students see in their school or around them in their community, then I'll let the students choose what they want to talk about specifically, and just a way for them, just a PSA on how they can combat that particular topic. Again, the objectives. So we'll review the survey and they're going to work on the PSA work. So their homework is going to be to finalize the script. Again, that will be posted on Google Classroom for them. Now, the rest of the time is just looking at the, is just doing the PSA work for the remainder of the classes. So the Google Slides will just be the generic. There won't be a warm-up. It'll just be working on their PSA. And their scripts will be due on this on the 5th day. Their scripts will be due. So the last document that the students will have that will be posted on Google Classroom is going to be their rubric for the PSA, and I've uploaded it into the assignment section in the class. So basically just a gender equality PSA. It's a 50-point assessment. The scenario: we've been tasked with creating a public service announcement for our Parkdale High School on various gender issues and how to combat inequalities and biases in our school and community. So they're just going to be tasked with creating a PSA video that they'll be shown in the announcements. The topic should be presented from the survey, but as I said before, it may not. If the survey doesn't work, then the students will be able to choose. But I'm not going to tell them that until if we come up with that issue. But on the rubric, it just gives them day 1, of the PSA, not day 1 of the whole lesson, just day 1 of the PSA, what we're going to do through the 4 days. And it's 50 points, 25 points is content. I know that there are rubrics that have the graphing and it goes, across with, the highest points and what you get less. To me, that's confusing. It's too much for me, just for me to manage in, determining what students do and just looking at it. So to me, an easy bullet point list of what I'm looking for. And plus it gives students a little bit of leeway because, what one group of students may be completely A+ work, another students might be B work, but it's still both information on particular gender biases. So I like to have that kind of freedom to decide, what students is quality. But this is what they're looking for. That's what I'm looking for. Information on a particular bias, information on how to combat that bias, the written script, creating a hashtag. So I want them to be able to create a hashtag that goes with their issue, something like the Me Too movement or Black Lives Matter. And then it must be PG-13 content. I mean, I know it's a sensitive subject, and sex and rape culture is a big part of gender equality, but I want to make sure that it's PG-13, or at least, nothing that would be inappropriate for their audience or for school. And then the format, it should be a video. It should be from 1 minute to 1.5 minutes. It should be clearly communicated. There should be group collaboration. They don't know it, but at the end I will ask them to tell me how their group did, just because I don't want them to, you know, just maybe we'll see how the groups go. I may not do it, but I do sometimes have them write down how their group did and let them be honest. And then again, to be audience appropriate, because it is teenagers they're going to be talking to. So they can use slang and they can use, colloquial words, excuse me, but I just want to make sure that it's known that that's what they're looking for. And then of course creativity, just their ingenuity behind it is 10 points. And that's my project. That's my blended learning lesson. Just being able to give the kids a chance to look into gender equality, and how they can combat it in our culture today, especially on the grassroots level of being at a high school, and what they can do and hopefully grow into as they grow into adults.